So, what I want to talk about today is how much time to spend on your Hermetic practice, spiritual practice. And let me tell you something. This is as much for myself as for anybody else. This is some hard-won wisdom over many years of not doing what I'm about to tell you you should do. Basically, my natural tendency is to obsess over things. Hello, puppy. Hello. Yes. Yes. Say hello to the people. Yeah. Okay. So it'll occupy all of my time, all of my spare time. It's the only thing that I will do for, maybe a month, and then I'll get bored of it and I'll move on to something else and I'll completely stop doing whatever it is I was doing. I mean, you can see that pattern repeating itself if you've watched this channel for any length of time. The I don't know, half a dozen of you maybe who've actually done that, where I'll do like a video every day or maybe a couple of videos in a day, and I'll churn out a whole bunch of videos over like a month or so, and then I'll stop and I won't do anything for years, and I'll come back and start doing them again. So here's what I recommend: you have a block of time once a week that is for your spiritual practice, that is devoted to spiritual practice. I would say about an hour, maybe 2 hours at the most. It should be time that is scheduled. All right. So it's every week you do it at the same time. And any stakeholders in your life, people who you have to deal with, family, friends, that kind of thing, they all know to leave you alone during this time. And it's the same time every week on that day. I do Sunday morning. And the way that I do it is I do it early enough that in the day that everyone else is asleep. So I know I'm not going to get bothered. And that's the time for a weekly ritual and contemplation. There's definitely physical ritual components. You're working a little magic, and there's some journaling and some reflection, some thinking. Talk about make sure you're not interrupted. Well, I just got interrupted, had to go handle something. So it's important to do that once a week. And I would also say once a week, set aside a different time, because this requires like a different energy. So a different time for study. And again, I would say just once a week, like an hour roughly per week, and where you're reading some material that is important to your spiritual practice. So studying the grimoires, studying the Hermetica, reading secondary sources, learning about symbolism, different sets of symbols. And during this time, it's like deep study. It's taking notes. It's digesting the information so you can put it to use in your practice. So I think it's important to do this once a week, both of those things once a week, and do that much. And don't do much more than that, really, because something to keep in mind is that this is a marathon, not a sprint. This is a lifelong thing. You're trying to grow in your life, and these things take time and they take nourishment, and it's like growing a garden. Take your time with it. Don't rush it. Allow your garden to flourish naturally. So that's one of the hardest things for me to do, but it really is important. And so I hope you take this to heart. Practice the virtue of moderation in all things and consistency. Again, that's the only way to grow a garden. Moderation and consistency. Watering it a little bit every day, tending to it a little bit on a regular basis, not ignoring it for a long time, and not overdoing it all of a sudden either.